Hello there, and welcome to this evening's sleep time story, The Lighthouse Tour. My name is Tom, and I am the Lighthouse Keeper. I am so glad that you have decided to join me tonight as I show you around my lighthouse. Before we begin, I'd just like to invite you to take a few moments to get comfortable in your bed, just setting the intention for your body and mind to go to sleep. This is the entrance to the lighthouse, a grand wooden door that arches at the top, a heavy brass door handle sits proudly in the center of the door. The exterior of the lighthouse is made from stone and has a red and white painted stripe around the entire circumference of the lighthouse. As I turn the door handle, you can hear the satisfying clicking of the locking mechanism working together to unlock the door and open it. Come on in. It can be quite windy as we are on the coast by the sea. So the wind does pick up from time to time. Now that we're inside, just pause for a few moments as we listen to the calming sounds of the sea's waves. You can tell by the rhythm of the sound of the waves when they are coming in towards the shore and when they are moving back out into the sea. It is my job as the lighthouse keeper to protect the harbor below, as well as any ships that are nearby out at sea of any dangers. Although where we are, there are not many hazardous rock formations to worry about. There is a lovely beach down below. It's mainly letting ships know that they are near a coast and also keeping the lighthouse's grounds neat and tidy. Jobs like mowing the grass, watering the plants, painting the picket fence. After all, when we have people visiting the town nearby, the first thing they see is this lighthouse sitting on the hill overlooking the town. So we're not just a beacon for ships at sea, but a proud symbol of the town. Okay, now we are in the sitting room of the lighthouse. It's a small and peaceful room. I can sit here on the armchairs and make a nice cup of tea and relax. Of course, the most prominent feature is the fireplace that keeps the lighthouse warm, and I can boil water over the fire in my teapot. Let's ascend the spiral staircase up onto the top of the lighthouse and into the lantern room, as that's where all the most interesting parts of the lighthouse are. At the top of the lighthouse, we are standing in a glass windowed room known as the Lantern House, and as you look around, you'll be able to see 360 degrees of your surroundings, and in the center of the room is the beacon that shines so brightly. Sailors out at sea can spot its light from miles away. The light is so powerful, it can penetrate through even the thickest fog and stormy nights to help guide the ships safely. The mechanism the light sits on allows the huge bright light to rotate slowly, shining in all directions. If I really want to, we can make the light flash on and off as a way of signaling ships with Morse code messages. To the left, as we step out onto the lighthouse's balcony, you'll see the beach down below. At night, it's very quiet. Sometimes I like to take an evening stroll along the beach, just listening to the sound of the waves as they roll in. I occasionally match my breathing to the sound of the waves. It's a great way for me to set my body up for sleep after my shift ends. As the waves move out to sea, I take a big, deep breath in, and as the waves move back towards the shore, I exhale. I do this a couple of times, and it just helps me to loosen and relax. There's also something pleasant about being the only one on the beach at night, taking off your shoes and then feeling the sand underneath your feet, leaving a footprint trail behind you before the waves wash them away. The beach during the day is a buzz of activity. People from the town wander down with their beach towels, trying to find the perfect spot to place them. People play in the sea, and the ice cream vans drive right up onto the beach. They usually have huge queues waiting as they sell their frozen tasty treats. It's quite the setting for wholesome activities. Do you see that cliffside further along the beach? If you reach the cliffs, you'll find an entrance to a cave. People in the town say this cave used to be a pirate's cave where they used to hide their treasure. Well, while no pirate treasure has ever been discovered, you do get the odd townsfolk searching the cave with their metal detectors and using their shovels to dig up the sand when the beep sound is heard through their headphones. Although normally it's just a rusty old nail that they've found. So the treasure is still out there and waiting to be discovered, if you believe the tales. If you walk through the cave and follow it out the other side, in the morning when the tide is low, you'll find Lauren doing her morning yoga on a smaller beach that can only be reached by walking through the cave. Lauren says she likes stretching by the sea as the waves help with her breathing and flow. What's great about being up here in the lighthouse is I feel like a watchful protector of the town. You can see all over the town from this balcony. It's nice to see the town lit up at night. If you look over to your right, you'll see the harbor where small boats live. Some boats belong to the townspeople, and others are owned by holidaymakers who visit here from time to time, especially if the weather is nice and warm. At the very end of the jetty is reserved for the larger boats and fishermen's trawlers, as it might be a bit of a struggle to maneuver the bigger boats into the harbor. We wouldn't want any congestion now, would we? At the end of the harbor walkway, the jetty widens into a T shape. There you'll find people fishing. On a very sunny day, you'll find the end of the jetty filled with fishing enthusiasts with their rods, all trying to catch some fish. They share fishing stories with one another, discussing which type of bait they use. Some of the fishermen bring packed lunches and enjoy tucking into their sandwiches in the sun, waiting for their fishing rod's float to bob under the water, which signals to the fisherman a fish has taken a bite of his bait. Another view I like from the top of the lighthouse is those clusters of rock by the sea's edge. What's fascinating about these rocks is they have lots of tiny rock pools in them, formed by water erosion. The water erosion has made a shallow dip on the rock's surface, kind of like a small puddle. And if you search these rock pools, you'll find a great variety of small sea animals living in them. There's a seafood restaurant in town which has amazing, tasty food. The menu is quite spectacular for a small seaside restaurant. It's made up of fresh seafood. It's called the Cuddly Cod, and you'll find the restaurant's owner and chef, Shelley, searching the rock pools early morning to find ingredients for her delicious tasting dishes. Some of Shelley's favorites include mussels, clams, scallops, crab, and limpets. All of these sea creatures can be found living in the rock pools. Shelley says try adding chili and bay leaves with a few limpets for a simple, tasty dish. So if you're someone who enjoys seafood, it will definitely be worth stopping by the Cuddly Cod. I'm just going to put on my cable knit sweater. It's thick and cozy, perfect for staying warm when you're stood up here on the lighthouse's balcony for a long time. The sea breeze can sometimes carry a chill. I've got one here for you as well, if you would also like to put on a cable knit sweater. It's definitely going to feel big and oversized, but it's going to keep you all snug. I'll just leave it there, and you can pop it on if you feel like it. Alright, so I'm just going to do my final checks up here to make sure everything is working as it should be. And I can see that the beacon is shining very strongly, and the rotations are very smooth, which is perfect. That's exactly how it should be. Nice and steady. Let's head inside the lighthouse tower and get warmed up. careful coming down the spiral stairs. I'd like to show you this room I call the map room. Here I have a special weather computer that allows me to monitor the forever changing weather conditions. I can use the radio to communicate with ships nearby to update them on the conditions. I have an apprentice named Sam who assists me with lighthouse duties during the day. But one of his most important jobs is helping to guide boats that are entering the harbor, find a suitable spot to attach their mooring lines. It's a skill he uses very well, kind of like playing Tetris. I can use the radio to feed him information as I have a bird's eye view from this window in the map room. I can let Sam know what type of vessels are approaching and how busy the harbor is looking. So we are quite the team here in the lighthouse. Sometimes, if the harbor is busy with boats or the driver of the boat is new to parking in a harbor, Sam will offer to maneuver the boat safely through the harbor for the boat's owner. Sam knows how to navigate the harbor effortlessly and is an expert at finding a suitable space for each boat. The bookcase there in the map room has lots of maps of the town and the surrounding areas. I use the maps to plan little hiking trails and finding paths I haven't yet walked. I'm quite an walking enthusiast, so when I can, I like to venture out. As they say, the coastal air is very good for your health. These maps on the table are used to triangulate ships' positions as they radio in. It helps me to understand how busy the sea is in this area. So the weather computer says that it's looking like clear, sunny days ahead, and tonight is looking like a calm sea. That's good news. I'm happy with the weather's report, so I can log out for the evening and tick another job off the list. If you'd like to follow me, we're just going to head back down to the sitting room, and I'll make us a nice cup of tea to relax. Take a seat in that armchair there. That's the comfier one. And then I'll just take a few bits of kindling from my box here, lay them in the fireplace in a criss-cross manner, a bit like building the start of a Jenga tower. And then I'll place a few cubes of firelighters underneath the kindling, and then take a nice chunky log and place it on top. And now if I strike this match and place the flame over the firelighters so they catch alight, and there we have it, a nice cozy fire. Tonight I have prepared some lovely lavender tea. If you wish to try, I'll happily pour you a cup and just leave it on the table, and you can drink it if you wish. For now, just sit back in your armchair and listen to the fire crackling. As you sink down into the chair, I just have to finish off my jobs for tonight, locking up the windows, making sure the grounds of the lighthouse are all neat and tidy, and that all the ship's reports are finalized. But you don't need to worry about that. Once you finish your tea, or decide you're tired enough for sleep, head up the spiral staircase. The first door on the left is a little room just for you. It's got a nice window where you can see right down onto the beach. My advice would be to get a nice early sleep, because that particular spot in the lighthouse, you'll be able to see the sunrise coming up over the horizon from that window. There's everything you need in there: pillows, quilts, blankets, and of course a bathroom should you need it. But of course, take your time. There's no rush to do anything. Just enjoy your time here in the lighthouse. It's been a pleasure guiding you round, but I'll leave you for now to enjoy your tea.